name's Michael Postill. Well, I grew up in a little town called New Mills. My mum and dad split up at a young age, and after that I've had about 12 to 13 different houses over the years. But yeah, New Mills is kind of like my hometown. I've always kind of felt most comfortable here. I used to get beat up a lot as a kid. One time when I moved to this place called Lincoln for a year, I was quite badly bullied. When I got back, I used to brag to everyone that I was really good at karate, and stuff, so everyone would leave me alone. So eventually Mum was like, Michael, if you're going to lie about it, you might as well do it. So she took me to this karate class, learned the basics. Eventually they did other classes for different martial arts, and just started from there. My grandparents funded me because my mum wasn't very rich growing up. My grandparents always paid for me to do these classes because they thought it was good for me. Well, I've been training karate, judo, taekwondo, muay thai, jiu-jitsu and kung fu. Karate is my main one. Karate Shukukai. It's the one I've been graded in most and been doing the longest. The others I've picked up from different classes around New Mills. It's quite interesting to see all the different times, it isn't like in the movies. And my first dan in each one of the martial arts, it became hard to grade further because someone who's doing it a number of years I have, it's quite difficult to grade further without putting in significant time. I went for my second dan black belt when I was 18. It was a 4-hour grading. It was exhausting, and I never managed to be able to put in the amount of time required because it was during my exam periods. My dyslexia was kind of holding me back. I was in bottom set English. I wouldn't say it's helped. I'd say it's been a bit of a disadvantage. No, what's good, it has been hard. I wasn't very much of a reader, and I don't think I've read that many books. It hasn't really, stopped me. I'm still doing a physics degree. It's better nowadays, I'd certainly say. My dad didn't have it as easy as I did. It's quite hard to try and write and understand something in a lecture, or try and write a question. It's like trying to write on a moving page. It's quite difficult to make what you write make sense. It hasn't stopped me from writing my book though. It's the only thing that really got me interested in kind of English, to be honest. George R. R. Martin, I could never quite write as good as him, but it does inspire me to write. Whenever I watch an episode of Game of Thrones, I'm just damn, I love to make stories off in my head, and getting it down on the page seems to be the hardest thing in the world for me, especially in all my other classes. So being able to have that connection with writing a book has certainly helped with my dyslexia. And it's going strong now, over 100,000 words. It's going to be published soon. It's really been a testament to overcoming the challenge of my nature. I used to watch these documentaries on dark matter or the nature of the universe. Well, first off, I thought it'd be really cool if I went up to someone in the bar and said, "Hey, I'm a nuclear physicist." But it seems a bit cliche. But definitely cosmology, space, that kind of stuff always piques the interest. And I don't know, I just kind of liked the vastness of it and the complexity, and it's just outside the realms of anything else you get in any other situation. Just learning about something that's real but you can't quite touch it. I was never good at physics from the straight off. I think everyone just assumed I was brilliant at physics, from the first day I started it, but I just got interested in it and I just put the time in because I was interested. And eventually that time paid off. There were people far smarter than me, more naturally gifted. My willingness to put the time and effort in to learn something that I'm not good at has been one of my far more important skills than being naturally good at something, is the ability to make yourself good at something, just through natural perseverance. At AS, people had come in with better GCSEs than me. At A level, people had done better at AS, and eventually at uni I became the top of my year for my first year in physics, and I felt good, from being the bottom to the top, just putting that effort in. I'm in the OTC, which is a the Officer Training Corps, and it's part of the Army Reserves, and it's training to like potential officers. My dad was in the army, and that got me interested in going to the army when I was younger. I was going to go away, but I went into the Army Cadets. I think it definitely put me off the army. I enjoyed doing it, but I won't want to do it for the rest of my life. That's not what I want to do. I want to do, say, something important. Yeah, I was nominated Young Person of the Year by my physics teacher. He was very impressed with my ability and enthusiasm in physics and how I used to help everyone else out, so he nominated me for an award. Didn't win, as other kid, but well, I'd like to get a PhD in physics, be Dr. Postill. Definitely want to get into nuclear fusion, saving the planet. That sounded a bit big-headed, didn't it? But the time when I really got like an appreciation on life, I was on holiday when I was 15. We went to Fuerteventura, swimming on the beach, and I was, just like, might swim out a bit. I've been out deep into the ocean before. Oh, I hadn't seen the red flag that was up on the beach, and this riptide pulled me out into sea. But by the time I realised I was already, far out, I could barely see the shore. I started swimming back, and as I got closer, the waves started getting more aggressive with me. And there was one time in my life where I felt like, yes, this could be the end for me. Just a calmness, a kind of acceptance of it. I was looking back, just keeping calm. I was just thinking about all the things I would have done differently. Eventually, when I got pushed out by this massive tidal wave that came in, I was grateful, and I started doing more proactive things. I was more, confident with people, because most of the time I was shy because I was scared, and this time I was just like, there's worse things to be scared of than someone, telling you you're an idiot or something, So